Lorden. The chill wind echoed softly through the chilled ramparts of the great Tower of Magic. This ancient tower has stood in Darhaven for centuries. Some say it was a gift to mankind from the gods of old. Others claim it was created so man could fight off the gods and no longer be the playthings of immortals. The imagination of men knows no bounds. Elves have controlled this tower for centuries, hoarding the power and ancient wisdom here for themselves. But it was here that Lorden lay tossing and turning in his sleep. His brown brow glistened with sweat, even though snow covered the tower and the land surrounding it. Lorden clinched the sheets as he writhed in his bed. Lorden was an elder among the Magi, one who constantly warned about the prophecy. He was greatly opposed to the Chosen One and the shift in power that would come when he arrived. Lorden was the chief advisor to the king. It was whispered that Lorden ruled the kingdom, and the king was merely a puppet, a face, a distraction from reality. Suddenly, Lorden's eyes snapped open.
"He is here,"
he whispered as he sat up. His greying beard matted and tangled. He took a deep breath to calm his nerves.
"His guardian has already found him,"
he mumbled. Lorden knew their best chance of killing the Chosen and preserving their power for centuries to come was to get him before he discovered who he was. Lorden had prepared for this day. He had armies trained and ready, assassins and mercenaries on constant payroll to do his bidding. He was the heir of the king, so his power and influence in the southern kingdoms were unmatched. He, being the accomplished Magi he was, all respected him. Thus why he, a human, was a guest of honour in the ancient Tower of Magi possessed by the elves. Lorden was the most accomplished Magi in all the human kingdoms, and possibly of all the races. Lorden rose from his bed and walked to the window. Lorden was older, his age a point of many arguments in the realms in which he was known. Some said he was as old as some of the elder elves. Others thought he was just in great shape for being an elder. If one knew the cost that he had paid for his magic, they would cringe away from him. All magic comes with a toll. Each toll is different. Lorden's toll was timelessness. He had been alive since the last Chosen had walked the earth, witnessed the destruction and change that was wrought in the Chosen's wake. He was just a youth then, born to the outland of the northern deserts. The dark men are what they are called now, being that their skin tone is as dark as the starless night. They were a highly intelligent warrior people, nomads who did not allow other people among them. It was rare for someone not of them to be invited to their kingdoms and cities. Lorden was never really accepted among their people and was not allowed to marry from among them. He was protected and tolerated. The pride of the people would not allow anyone that shared their blood to be mistreated. But he was a half-breed. His mother was one of the Alki-Bulon people, the people who waited on the Chosen. Alki-Bulon was the greatest city of all Darhaven, but also the most private and secretive. Some referred to the people of Alki-Bulon as a cult. But the reality was they were just people from all over who left behind their tribes and kingdoms to serve the Chosen and be ranked among his people. They gave up their racial identities and nationalistic pride and were just known as the people of Alki-Bulon. It was a mixing pot. All the races were there. It was one of the few places where they all got along. There was no war among them or hate. They were all brothers with one cause. Women had all the same roles as men. There were no set gender norms or roles. The place was indeed truly a wonder, home to great armies and order. The Order of the Chosen was the fiercest army to ever walk Darhaven. They were the personal guards of the Chosen. They were few in number, but their strength, battle prowess, and heartlessness on the battlefield made their number not a factor. Many would not fight if they knew even one of the Order was facing against them. You would wonder what would make such a great and powerful city crumble, a city no army could take. It's a tale as old as time, and like all other great empires, they fell from within. Once the Chosen passed, the infighting started. They had no one to lead them. The Order of the Chosen divided up the kingdom, each declaring their own new king or false reborn Chosen. The inevitable war started. This war waged for decades. It sucked nearly all of Darhaven into it. In the end, the great kingdom of Alkebulan lay in ruins, destroyed by the very order that was closest to the Chosen and tasked to protect him and the kingdom when he was gone. The Order of the Chosen still remained intact. Scattered remains of them who still passed down the teachings and training to future knights of the Order. But their fame and reputation long lost. They are shamed and mocked now, ridiculed and referred to as a cult with no sanity. But they are still highly dangerous, and if united with an actual Chosen, they would be near unstoppable. Lorden's mother was from these people. She was a knight of the Order. He remembered how lost she had become after the Chosen of that time had died. Her attempts to establish a normal life were pointless. Everywhere she went there was trouble, and she left destruction in her wake. Lorden's mother was a very proud and fierce believer and defender of the Chosen, like all of the Order's knights. No matter who badmouthed the Chosen, she put her sword to them. No one could beat her. So they found one of the orders that turned mercenary hired him to kill her. The battle was legendary. 2 of the lost and few from the Order of the Chosen fought to the death. Lorden watched his mother die that day. She took her brother in the Order with her. Since then, Lorden hated and feared the Chosen. He was dreading the destruction that he would bring. Lorden feared the Chosen so much, he sacrificed his very being to creatures who dwelled in the darkest places of reality for the power and time to stop the next Chosen. Lorden shivered as he stood in the air on his balcony and looked at the night sky. The symbol of the Chosen shone brighter than the moon, announcing his arrival. Lorden held onto the stone railing and trembled not from the biting cold, but from fear.
All that doubted the reality of the Chosen will now see how real he truly is,
Lorden said into the night, and called for his guard.